So Jim is over there.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Bear Valley Springs Veterans Association, welcome and thank you for joining us for this Memorial Day ceremony. At this time, we respectfully ask all guests to please take their seats as we prepare to begin our program. At this time, we will conduct the ceremonial lowering of the United States flag to half-staff in honor of the brave men and women of our armed forces who gave their lives in service to our nation. Memorial Day is a solemn reminder that freedom is never free. Today we pause to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice for liberties we enjoy.
Hail, lower flag. Come on down. Go, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you please stand for the national anthem. Active duty, retired, or veterans, feel free to render a hand salute during the play. Civilians, you may render a salute by placing your hand over the heart. Two.
Joining us to lead the Pledge of Allegiance is Jim Rice, United States Army Vietnam veteran and two-time Purple Heart recipient for wounds received in combat. Please join him in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the invocation. Today's invocation will be given by Ildefonso Colon Jr., United States Marine Corps retired, Purple Heart recipient for wounds received during the Battle of Fallujah and Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Let us pray. Almighty God, on this Memorial Day, we gather with grateful hearts to honor the men and women who gave their lives in service to our nation. Bless their memory, comfort their families, and remind us of the sacrifice made for the freedoms we enjoy. May we live with courage, gratitude, and a deeper commitment to peace. Amen.
As we continue this Memorial Day ceremony, we now enter a solemn and deeply meaningful portion of today's program, the POW MIA table. This table stands as a place of honor and remembrance for those who were prisoners of war, those who remain missing in action, and for all who never returned home. Though they are absent from our ranks today, they are never absent from our hearts or from the memory of a grateful nation.
Those who have served and those who are currently serving the United States Armed Forces are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured and may still be enduring agonies of pain, deprivation, and internment. This afternoon, we call your attention to the small table which occupies a place of dignity and honor. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our military are missing from our ranks. They are referred to as prisoners of war and missing in action, but we call them comrades. They are unable to be with their loved ones and family today. So I ask that we join together to pay our humble tribute to them and bear witness to their continued absence. This table is set for one. It is small, symbolizing the fragility of one prisoner alone against his or her suppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to the nation's call to bear arms. The single rose in the vase signifies the blood that may have been shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedoms of our beloved United States of America. The rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The yellow ribbon on the vase represents the yellow ribbons worn on the lapels of thousands who demand with unyielding determination a proper accounting of our comrades who are not among us. The absence of a name on the dog tag serves as a powerful reminder that for many families there has never been closure. The blank tag honors all of the missing known to God and remembered by a grateful nation, even when their names and their final resting place are unknown to us. The flags of our armed forces stand as proud symbols of service, sacrifice, honor, and dedication to our nation. Each flag represents the men and women who have worn the uniform of that branch. Each carries with it the memory of those who were killed in action, those who remain missing in action, and those whose sacrifices will never be forgotten. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast. The chair is empty because they are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of a grateful nation. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember their sacrifices, and may God forever watch over them and their families.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce the commander of the Bear Valley Springs Veterans Association, Raymond McCloskey. Commander McCloskey is a United States Navy veteran who served during Vietnam.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. We gather on this Memorial Day with a shared purpose: to remember, to honor, and reflect. Across our nation, this day is set aside to recognize the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. Their courage secured the freedoms we enjoy today, and their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Joining us today are the families of Corporal Zanuto and Sergeant Earl Victor Sigmund. We are honored by their presence as we remember the sacrifice of these brave servicemen. One who gave his life in combat and one who endured the ultimate sacrifice in captivity and whose remains never returned home. But today here in Bear Valley Springs, our remembrance carries even deeper meaning. We are not only honoring those who fell in military service, but also the cherished members of our own community who have passed away. These were our neighbors, our friends, our family. They walked the same streets, shared in our daily lives, and helped shape the spirit of this community. Each life we remember today leaves behind a story of kindness, of service, of love, and of connection. While their absence is deeply felt, their impact remains in quiet ways and lasting memories. They continue to be part of who we are. Memorial Day reminds us that remembrance is not just about loss. It is about gratitude. Gratitude for service, for time shared, and for the legacy left behind. It calls us to live with purpose, to care for one another, and to carry forward the value that those who honor stood for. As we begin this ceremony, let us take a moment to reflect, not only on those we have lost, but how we can honor them through the way we live. Thank you. It is now my honor to introduce to you the CSD Board President, Paul Paparella. Also, the Mayor of Tehachapi, Joan Bogencourt.
They have to be listed as a dignitary. I'm just Joni or Hoagie to my students. So yeah, there we go. Let's get that clear right away. Uh-oh, we're falling apart here. Well, welcome and good afternoon, and I'm delighted to be here with you all today. We are gathered not for a celebration, but for a remembrance. On this Memorial Day, we honor the brave men and women of our armed services who gave their lives in service to our nation. Their sacrifice secured the freedoms that we enjoy every day. The freedom of speech, openly live peacefully and raise our families and pursue our dreams. These were our neighbors, friends, sons, daughters, and mothers, and fathers who answered the call of duty with courage and selflessness. We also enjoy time with family and community. Today, let us also pause to reflect on the true meaning of this holiday. Let us remember those who never made it home and let us support the families who continue to carry their memory forward. On behalf of our city, I offer our dearest and deepest gratitude to all who have served, and especially to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. May we never forget them. Thank you, and God bless our veterans, our military families, and the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the roll call of remembrance. The roll call is a long-standing military tradition in which names of those who have passed are spoken aloud so they may be honored, remembered, and recognized by this community. As each name is called, a bell will toll in tribute to their life, service, and memory. The tolling of the bell symbolizes honor, respect, and final remembrance. Its sound serves as a solemn reminder that while these individuals are no longer with us in person, they will never be forgotten. As we honor the veterans from our Bear Valley Springs community who have passed away, we also pause to remember another tragic loss affecting veterans across the nation. The loss of young veterans to suicide. For many, the battle does not end when the uniform comes off. Some carry invisible wounds long after their service has ended. Today, we honor all those veterans as well. Men and women who serve their country with courage, but whose struggles after service become too heavy to bear. The structure, purpose, brotherhood, and identity found in military service can be difficult to replace. And for some, that transition becomes an invisible struggle fought in silence. We honor their service, acknowledge their struggles, and renew our commitment to support those veterans who may still be searching for hope, connection, and understanding. May we never allow any veteran to feel forgotten, unseen, or alone. Conducting today's roll call is the Master-at-Arms of the Bear Valley Springs Veteran Association, Paul Bellinger, United States Navy veteran, retired. As each name is read, Commander Raymond McCoskey will present a white rose to the family members in attendance. The white rose is a symbol of honor, reverence, remembrance, and eternal love. Today, it serves as a visible expression of our gratitude and our commitment to never forget the lives and sacrifices of those we honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please observe this portion of the ceremony with the dignity and respect it deserves. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my deep honor to present the inductees for the 2026 Memorial Day. I shall begin. First inductee, Morris Maxon Bennett, Patrol Torpedoman, Seaman First Class, E6, U.S. Navy, Korean War, April 12, 1932, July 19, 2025. Our next honoree, Arthur Glenn Ricketts, Staff Sergeant, E5, United States Air Force, Korean War, December 18, 1931, March 26, 2026. Okay, the next inductee, Thomas D. Gahagan, Master Sergeant, E7, United States Air Force, retired, Vietnam War, July 9th, 1936, July 13, 2025. Next inductee, Gerald Lloyd Hadeen, Machinist Mate, Second Class, E5, U.S. Navy, April 14, 1942, April 14, 2025. Continuing, Francis Flanagan, Lieutenant JG, 02, U.S. Navy, April 4th, 1939, July 2nd, 2025. Next inductee, Patrick William Chapman, Private, E1, U.S. Army Vietnam War, March 2nd, 1948, October 18, 2025. Our next inductee, Stephen Vincent Phillips, Corporal, E4, United States Marine Corps, September 14, 1997, April 8, 2023. Next inductee, Donald Lee Bailey, Specialist 5th Class, E5, U.S. Army, Vietnam War. LAPD retired, July 1969 to July 1999. August 22nd, 1944 to December 2nd, 2025. Our last inductee for today, Dennis H. Driscoll, Staff Sergeant, E5, United States Air Force, Vietnam War, February 5th, 1948, January 31st, 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the inductees roll call. Thank you for your attention.
Today's keynote speaker is Richard Rick Zanuto. Richard graduated Granada Hills High in 1963. He attended Los Angeles Trade Technical College, attaining a degree in graphic arts and lithography. He was drafted into the Army in 1966, attending basic training at Fort Bliss, Texas. He was then stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington State with an MOS in printing. After 10 months, he volunteered for service in Vietnam, where he was with the 569th Engineers in Nam Trang from 1967 to 1968, printing maps of enemy installations. He was discharged in 1968 with the rank of Specialist E5. Rick and his wife Donna moved from the San Fernando Valley in 1975 to Walker Basin, Kern County, where they and their 3 children lived until 2007. After retiring for 42 years in the printing industry, 22 years farming, and 13 years owner and publisher of a monthly newspaper, Rick and Donna moved to Bear Valley in 2007. Rick served on the Caliente School Board for 12 years. He was a founding member of the Caliente Educational Foundation, 2.5 years Bear Valley ECC, 8 years CSD Board, 8 years board member of the Tehachapi Cummings County Water District. He was a founding member of the Portrait of a Warrior Gallery and a representative for Honor Flight per County 2012. Rick has been on 14 honor flights as a guardian, a bus leader, and flight leader. He is a lifetime member of the Bear Valley Veterans Association. Rick Zanuto is a Gold Star parent whose son, Marine Corporal Adam Zanuto, gave his life in service to the United States of America. A Gold Star parent is a mother or father of a service member who died while serving our nation in a time of conflict or military service. The title traces its origins to World War I, when families displayed service flags bearing a blue star for a loved one in uniform. If that service member was lost in war, the blue star was replaced with a gold star, symbolizing sacrifice, honor, and a nation's gratitude.
On behalf of the Bear Valley Springs Veterans Association, our entire community, we extend our deepest sympathy and deepest gratitude to Rick and Donna for being with us today on this Memorial Day. Your presence here today carries special meaning for all of us. Rick. Please join me in warmly welcoming our keynote speaker, Rick Zanuto.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. I also want to thank the Bear Valley Veterans Association for asking me to be the speaker today. I am honored and I'm deeply humbled to be here today. My wife and I, Donna, had just come back from Hillcrest Cemetery in Bakersfield, where they had their Memorial Day ceremony. Our son was laid to rest there on a hill of valor, along with many veterans and their spouses. There were three keynote speakers there, and for some reason, I timed their speeches. One was 4 minutes, the other 6, and the other 7. Well, hang on and get comfortable, because I have a feeling I have a lot to say here. I just want to say about our Bear Valley veterans here and what they have done for this community and the veterans. They have a mission to take care of Bear Valley veterans and their spouses. And from the very beginning, they have done just that. And they have gone beyond. They have built upon that, and they started a monthly bingo here that has grown and moved into not from just the green room, but into the main gymnasium at the Whiting Center, where we all gather with our community members here and enjoy the visiting and camaraderie and maybe even win a few dollars. But with those donations and support, the Bear Valley veterans have contributed beyond. They have donated monies to Honor Flight that has sent many a veteran, and I see some of those here today, to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials that were built in their honor. And if you ask them what was the highlight, they all have a little bit different idea, but they all at the end say it was a trip well worth it, and that's what we just like to hear. They also have donated monies to the Portraits of a Warrior Gallery. This gallery is on 1925 I Street in Bakersfield. It was just an ordinary building that was transformed into a place of honor, where 27 of our post 9/11 veterans portraits hang from the main gallery, and all have something in common there. And it's not just about them, but it's also about all of Kern County's veterans. There's the Vietnam room where 176 had lost their lives in Vietnam. And think of this, 3 were were gold, I'll get through this, thank you. Were Medal of Honor recipients out of the 176. There also is the educational room. There's the team room. There's the MIA room, where approximately 82,000 dog tags hang from all the wars. When one of those veterans' remains are found, we take down that dog tag and paint it gold, and then put it back up. And what the hope is that someday they'll all be gold. We have the Hall of Honor, where there's 24 portraits of those that served and were serving, that died, but not in war. And there's a story between and for all of them. And the Bear Valley Veterans has sponsored some of those portraits, and they have again this year. And there's, like I say, stories behind each and every one of those. So if you ever get a chance, take the time and visit it. I believe you would be very impressed. And again, that's 1925 I Street. I think also what Bear Valley has done, the veterans here, they have formed a color guard, an honor guard. It's exceptional veterans here. They're dedicated. They perform military honors at the Bakersfield Cemetery and others. They perform those duties flawlessly. I have been at a number of those funerals. It makes us proud to have such great people here and so dedicated. I also think about 9 years ago, we started an honor flight Tehachapi breakfast for our veterans, all free of cost. I went to the Bear Valley veterans and I told them about this. And I asked, we need a little seed money to get started. And without hesitation, they donated. But they went far beyond that. They come and they volunteer and set up. They get up early in the morning on Saturday, get in that kitchen and cook. They serve. And when breakfast is finished, they clean up and put it away better than we have found it. We could not do this without the Bear Valley veterans. And I look at this memorial here, and what a beautiful memorial. And this is just the vision that they have, and their vision never stops. And to be able to memorialize our Bear Valley veterans here is just so heartwarming. I take a walk most every morning, and I take different routes. But there's some mornings I'll walk the walking path here. I'll come across this little path here and sit down right on these benches. And I'll read these names. Maybe not all of them one time, but maybe the next time another post. And it makes me think of something I had heard before, is that a person dies twice. Once when they take their last breath, and the other is when their name is no longer said. Well, here in Bear Valley, that's not going to happen. We're going to make sure of that. I asked my wife when she first learned about Memorial Day, and she said she was probably 5 or 6 when her mother told her that she had lost her nephew. He was killed in Korea at the age of 19. And she said it hit a little closer to home. Her neighbor and best friend was killed in Vietnam at the age of 19. And then some years later, not ever thinking it would happen to us, and we lost our son and her heart was broken. All of us have lost loved ones, and our heart is broken. I don't believe it ever mends. It's just that time helps ease that pain. A few years ago, I was asked to speak at the Hillcrest Cemetery. And the gentleman setting up the ceremony said, "Rick, I'd like to have you talk about what does Memorial Day mean to you since you have lost your son?" Well, when I spoke, I said, for Don and I, Memorial Day is every day. Today just happens to be the first day of a year of Memorial Days. What makes this day special are people like you that come here to help us get through this and to honor all of those that have lost their lives. Today, your handshakes, your hugs, your kind words are so much more meaningful. These flags that fly behind, above me here, are more meaningful. The color guard, the rifle salute, the playing of taps, and yes, Amazing Grace are so much more meaningful today. I look across and want to thank the Bear Valley veterans for recognizing Sergeant Friedman and our son. And we were each given honor and remember flags. And I just kind of like to read a little something about what those flags mean. Maybe I know it's not here. It may have gone away. But anyways, when I look out there, I see so many of our friends, and we have met your sons and daughters and even some of your grandkids. I played golf with some of them. And I wish you could have met our son Adam, because I think you'd enjoyed it. He's quite a kid. He was raised in Walker Basin, as it was said, and we lived on a hay farm. And all of our kids learned from the start what hard work is. They all bucked hay. We moved thousands of bales a year. But I could depend on Adam because he never complained. He just did the work. If I said, "Adam, we need to rake the south field," he went out there and he raked it till it was done. And that's just how he was. He went to school at Paiute School in Twin Oaks area. Went to Foothill High School where he graduated. And he played sports. He loved sports. He loved the Steelers. He played AWSO soccer and played high school soccer. He played forward. He scored goals, but he enjoyed more participating and being assist for someone else who scored a goal. He played baseball in Lake Isabella. He pitched a no-hitter. And after the game, he was so happy that his team had won. It didn't matter that he pitched that no-hitter. But his coach signed that ball, and so did his teammates. And we still have that ball today. At our farm in Walker Basin, our home was about 500 yards off the county road. And what you could see from the road was some hay barns, some outbuildings, and a house that was surrounded by hay. But what stood out most was the American flag that flew every day in our front yard. And it was Adam and I that would put up the flag, raise that flag in the morning, and take it down at night. If I didn't do it, he made sure it was done. When Don and I were invited to go to 29 Palms to be part of a ceremony just like this, the last roll call. His unit had returned from Iraq after their third tour, like his. And after that, we sat down with some of his buddies, and you could see the pain in their faces, and you wish you could help. But after a while, we got to talking, and I asked, I said, could you tell us some stories about Adam? And they started to open up and tell some stories. And some said, Adam was a great man, and he made a great Marine. And he became a squad leader. And they said that he was strict, but he was approachable. He made sure that before they went out on patrol, that they were going to be taken care of, and they knew where the routes were. And then before they left, he always had this way of making them all feel calm before they went out. This one particular day, and they were out on patrol, they were on their way back, and one of the vehicles, the end vehicle, had some maintenance problems and struggling to keep moving. And Adam was in the head Humvee, and he stated, we're headed to the back, we'll take the rear to make sure no one's left behind. Well, it wasn't long after he took that position that their Humvee hit an IED. His driver was killed instantly, Adam Van Alstyne. He was from Ashland, Wisconsin, about 20 miles from where I was born and raised. Don and I visited his sisters because they raised him.
Device detonated in Anbar Province, Iraq. He is the son of Richard and Donna Zanuto in Bear Valley Springs. Sergeant Earl Victor Sigmund, who joined the U.S. Army from Ohio, served with the Heavy Mortar Company, 21st Infantry Regiment, 24th Infantry Division. He was captured by enemy forces on July 10, 1950, while defending positions north of Tochiwan. Repatriated prisoners of war reported that Sergeant Sigmund was killed by his captors on November 3, 1950, during the forced march to a POW camp in North Korea. He was likely left or buried where he fell and is still unaccounted for. He is survived by the Sigmund family of Bear Valley Springs. At this time, the commander, the mayor, and the family of the two honorees will now participate in the wreath laying ceremony in tribute to their service, sacrifice, and enduring memory. May this wreath stand as a symbol of our community's gratitude, respect, and promise that their sacrifices will never be forgotten.
Okay, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to extend a salute from our rifle detail to my right in honor of the playing of taps. Please remain standing for that. You may again render a hand salute if you're military, active duty, retired, or and any civilians may render a hand salute by placing your hand over your heart during the playing of taps. Thank you.
Please have a seat. The tradition of playing the song Amazing Grace on bagpipes has deep roots in both religious history and military and memorial ceremonies. The haunting sounds of the pipes, combined with the hymn's message of grace and remembrance, creates a powerful emotional tribute to sacrifice, service, and eternal peace. Travis Combs will now honor our fallen with the bagpipe performance.
Before we stand for the benediction, I just really want to thank Travis again. It's so awesome to hear those bagpipes. It's so special to hear that. Thank you again, Travis. Please stand for the benediction. May the sacrifice of our fallen heroes never be forgotten. May their courage inspire us to serve one another with honor and compassion. As we depart, may we go in peace, remembering their gift and striving to be worthy of it. God bless our veterans, our nation, and the families who carry their memory. Amen.
On behalf of the Bear Valley Springs Association, Veterans Association, thank you for joining us as we honor the memory, service, and sacrifice of our nation's heroes and members of our community that we remember today. My name is Maria Colon. I'm a retired United States Marine. I served in combat during the Iraq War. As we conclude today's ceremony, I would like to extend our gratitude to those whose dedication and support made this event possible. Special thanks to Frank Miller, United States Navy, who served during Vietnam, for providing the music and sound support throughout today's programs. To the members of the Honor Guard, the Captain of the Honor Guard, Martin Hernandez, for their professionalism and solemn tribute to our fallen. To Dwayne Gore and all of the golf court volunteers who assisted in transporting guests to and from the parking lot. To all the other members of Bear Valley Springs Veterans Association who helped in many, many different ways. It is through this commitment, service, and generosity of these individuals that ceremonies such as these are conducted with the dignity and respect our veterans and fallen heroes so richly deserve. Thank you all for your support and for joining us in remembrance today. We will now, thank you. In the back of your pamphlets, you have God Bless America. Please, let's all join together and sing God Bless America.